Good evening and welcome to a slightly different but no less interesting match of the day. With First Division clubs out of action, we turn our attention to the feverish competition going on in the second, as many clubs compete fiercely to regain past glories. As they entertain Charlton, themselves not without considerable pride in their past, the question is, can Newcastle once again become the flagship of the North East? What's it like up there, John?
Well, don't be surprised if you hear some heckling, Jimmy, because I must admit that here on Tyneside, I'm regarded as something of a jinx. You see, the last 5 times I've covered Newcastle United for the BBC, they've conceded a total of 22 goals. Now, bearing in mind Charlton let in 7 last Saturday, you'll begin to understand why I'm hardly expecting a goalless draw.
And neither are we. Or at Main Road either, where Manchester City must be well pleased with their start to the campaign to get back to the top without delay. But in contrast, their opponents, Swansea City, are falling fast and struggling to regain control and direction. Any thoughts on that, Barry?
Well, only sympathetic ones, Jim. I think that John Toshak is due a change of fortune, and like all managers, needs time to bed in the youngsters. If he talked to his opposite number, Billy McNeil, Billy might suggest he gets a few Scotsmen around him.
Well, they're more than useful in a tight corner. And when the two-legged athletes have shown what they can do, it'll be the turn of man's four-legged friend, the horse, to round off the programme as the Horse of the Year show reaches the climax to what's been a superb and somewhat surprising week. David Vine.
Yes, it has been a good week, and no one more surprised than Jeff Glazard, whose Dutch-born horse Apollo is just about the fastest thing on 4 legs that Wembley's seen for years. But tonight, all the top horses and all the top riders are in there, and whoever wins the £11,000 Radio Rentals Championship is going to earn his money.
True, true. Those lads don't throw it away lightly. Bob.
I'll be telling you later about the Welshman who scored a hat-trick and still finished on the losing side, and how in that same match a young English striker must have impressed the watching Bobby Robson. Meanwhile, the England manager continues to have his worries. Trevor Francis definitely misses the Hungary match, while Glenn Hoddle and Kenny Sansom both have fitness problems.
Horses against the clock later, first-class football from our 2 matches coming up now as we join commentator John Motson at a wet St James's Park, which matters not to the faithful ones.
It's a compliment to the sheer tradition of Newcastle United and to the loyalty of their fans that an average of around 25,000 people come to watch second division football at St James's Park. They've always loved a goal scorer here, and there are 2 on view today chasing a landmark. Kevin Keegan, with 4 goals in Newcastle's last 5 league games, needs just 2 more to reach 150 in his Football League career. And bear in mind, he had 3 seasons out of the competition, playing in West Germany for Hamburg. While Derek Hales recently passed the 150 mark in league and cup games for Charlton, and that puts him 11 short of their all-time club record held by Stuart Leary. Both teams are unchanged. Newcastle are hoping for big things from number 8 Peter Beardsley, signed from Vancouver Whitecaps recently, but a Geordie by birth, and now striking up a promising partnership with another local product, Chris Waddle, who's been doing very well at number 9. And Charlton have a recent acquisition in their number 9 shirt. He's Ronnie Moore from Rotherham United. Manager Lenny Lawrence keeps the side thrashed at Brighton last week because prior to that, Charlton had made their best start to a season for 24 years. Referee this afternoon is Peter Tilsley from Stockport. And it's Newcastle in the famous stripes, playing from left to right in the first half, attacking the Gallowgate end. Charlton are wearing red shirts, white shorts. Flags up already, but the referee could let play go there. Forward came Hazelwood with the header, and it's turned back by Anderson. Header was by Curtis. Forward by Ryan. Keegan is chasing, and Nicky Johns comes out. Keegan. Free kick. Carney coming forward for Newcastle, but Dermot takes over. And again, the runner is Keegan. Just look at the energy there. And those two should know how to find each other. Two former Liverpool and England players. Keegan being supported well by McDermott. There's Carney. Saunders with Ryan going up the left, having to check. Here's Harris. Oh, well played. This is grit. Well done by Charlton. Three waiting in the centre. And Hale's near post. Blocked by Carney initially. And here's Hazelwood. Quite a bright attack that by Charlton, who believe in getting the ball wide and then trying to seek out Hales on the near post. Keegan. And Beardsley was in there. Oh, and he's round the goalkeeper with a chance. And Dickinson off the line. Brilliant save. And Beardsley thought he was on for his first goal for Newcastle. He went past Nicky Johns. He thought he'd done it. But what a good clearance by Kevin Dickinson, the 20-year-old fullback. And a header this time by Hales. Really good covering behind the keeper as the rain lashes down. Keegan with the twist and turn. Lenny Lawrence, the manager of Charlton for just under a year, doing a sound job. Saunders slipped a bit there. The pitch will be greasy on top now after this rain. Here's Harris. And McDermott. McCreary. Ryan. Looks for Beardsley in the centre. On this wing is Keegan. McDermott. And Anderson comes through with the drive. Good effort by John Anderson. Really well turned out too by Nicky Johns. Corner quickly taken. McDermott. Waddle. And Ryan's in a good position to curl it. John Ryan, who leaves tomorrow for Hungary with the England under-21 party, supporting the Newcastle attack. And the corner move worked short again, involving Terry McDermott. Here's Moore. In support is Grit. There are four waiting in the middle. Had to be taken quickly by Carney. Charlton get their first corner, which I would imagine Hazelwood may try to curl in with his left foot, because that's the way they work them at Charlton, on that side. Moore is on the near post, Hale's almost on the line, and Les Berry in support. And away by Ryan. Dowman got a header in. Curtis with a shot, and it's gone in. A real blow for Newcastle. And the young fullback, strange how some fullbacks have a habit of getting in the penalty area and others don't. As that corner was only half cleared, it was knocked back in. And Paul Curtis scored his second goal for Charlton. He notched one last season. This was after half an hour's play, and Lenny Lawrence on the training ground down in South London this week was saying, let's always put Curtis in the penalty area. He'll occasionally notch you a goal. That's exactly what's happened. Newcastle go one down. McDermott. Anderson. Flying header out by Dowman. And Nicky Johns, who's very commanding, as he's entitled to be with his build, on taking crosses like that. At the other end, the Newcastle keeper had little chance there when Charlton took the lead. Lofted towards Keegan. Wharton trying to back up. Ryan. Keegan knocked it down. Waddle. Turned in, and Keegan was on the far post, and a chance there, and Beardsley's got a chance, and he's missed it as well. Extraordinary. McCreary appealed for a handball in there somewhere. Keegan knocked it back in. It looked as if it was going to be Beardsley to finish it in the end, but he couldn't. McDermott with the cross. Keegan's in there again. So is Ryan. And that's harmless. Well, Charlton have lived dangerously at times, but to their credit, they've marked well and they've covered well. Because in front of the goalkeeper, there have been bodies around the place, like Nesberry, to sometimes save the situation in and around the 6-yard box. On by Mountford. Hales. Anderson. McDermott and Beardsley making runs down this side. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. McCreary, McDermott. Beardsley. McDermott. And the referee blows at the end of what for Newcastle was a frustrating first half. But give Charlton some credit, they bounced back from a bad defeat last week, and they lead at half-time thanks to a goal by Paul Curtis, who's got his chance in the team because of the injury to Terry Naylor. A day of memories for one of the most famous figures in the history of North East football, Jackie Milburn. It's 37 years ago this week since he figured in Newcastle United's record 13-0 win here at St James's Park against Newport County in a second division match. 3 internationals, Terry McDermott and Kevin Keegan, both once of England, and David McCreary, still of Northern Ireland. But can their experience pull Newcastle out of the wood here? It's nearly a year since Charlton won an away match. That was at Leeds last November, and it's 30 years since they won here at St James's Park in the 53-54 season. But they're leading 1-0 today, and here's more. Keegan. McCreary forward to Beardsley. Wharton. Keegan. Dermott's over on the right wing. Keegan couldn't find him, but did get the rebound. This is Berry for Charlton. Derek Hales and Steve Carney. On this slippery surface now, defenders having to be very careful. Anderson. Forward for Waddle. Keegan's in there, Beardsley's in there. And he's got a chance. And Kenny Wharton had a chance. Waddle is there. And he couldn't make contact. Waddle at the last, trying to get the header on it. Beardsley seemed to take his time. He was looking for a shooting chance. It fell for Kenny Wharton to scoop it. Waddle was coming in, but still, Charlton keep the ball out. Berry, they're marking Keegan so closely, as you might expect. Here's Wharton. Anderson. Beardsley's made a run down the right. Terry McDermott supporting just inside. So is Keegan. This is Beardsley. Away by Berry as the other players come from midfield. Ryan. Anderson. And that's Curtis, not quite sure who was around him, giving away a corner. And it's Saunders with the flick on the near post. McCreary's diving header, and it won't go in. It's a corner again. Wes Saunders flicked it on at the near post, and David McCreary threw himself for what seemed a certain goal. But Charlton, again, scrambled the ball away from on the line. Beardsley, Waddle, and easy for Nicky Johns. And the attendance this afternoon at St James's Park, still a very, very good return on a wet day for a second division match. 23,247. That's loyalty for you, and that's tradition. Ronnie Moore out to the left. Number 9. Now it's Dickinson. There's a good run here in the middle, but Mountford slipped. It might come back to Carl Harris. And Newcastle United forced to make the substitution. The attack is doing very little, and Arthur Cox is pushing on David Mills. The player to come off, Kenny Wharton. Funny when managers make a substitution, the opposing manager almost immediately has to do something, and Lenny Lawrence has gone down again from the director's box to the bench to rearrange Charlton's thinking. Here's Grit. Harris. And at the moment, Mills has gone into the outside right position. In the back, Les Berry on Chris Waddle. Ryan. Keegan, there was an arm around the neck there, surely. Beardsley. McDermott. Beardsley again. Anderson's there as well. So is Ryan, the other fullback. And Ryan got the ball in the flick on was by Waddle. And there it is! And of course, it's Kevin Keegan. Who else? 1-1. And a good bit of play by John Ryan. He cut the ball back from the dead ball line. Waddle got the flick on. And Keegan makes it 149 league goals in his career and pulls the afternoon round for Newcastle after 72 minutes. Doesn't matter how badly your side are playing, if you've got Keegan, you've got a chance. What a well-taken goal by the man whose head never drops. Well, the book's got to come out. The lad's only 20 and he had to make some sort of a challenge, but it was late and he's being booked. Paul Curtis. McDermott, Waddle, Keegan into the wall. Keegan again. Those benches have seen a great feverish activity. Arthur Cox on his feet, knowing his side didn't really play all that well until the goal. Anderson's gone down the right wing, and that's going to be a corner. McDermott with the kick. And Keegan again! Newcastle. And Keegan sees the fans happy, and Lenny Lawrence can only reflect that you do everything you can in defence, and he'll still turn again. Charlton overhauled with 9 minutes to go, and Kevin Keegan makes it 150 goals in the Football League and turns a very disappointing Newcastle performance into the possibility of 3 points. A landmark for Keegan, but a complete change on the face of the match. Hazelwood. It came with about 9 minutes to go. And Newcastle are at last playing well. Waddle. And McDermott's in the penalty area, and Waddle's going to run the ball out. Goal kick. Well, McDermott took that corner, but the crowd can only reflect again that wherever Keegan has taken his talents, he's taken his immense enthusiasm. When other heads were dropping, it was the same wherever else he played. Southampton and before this. Here at Newcastle, he's got the fans singing again. Harris looking to cross it. And Mountford, offside against Hazelwood. On the near post to us, and now a Charlton substitution. He won't get a corner, it's offside. Kevin Smith, midfield player, is about to come on, and Peter Mountford is the man coming on. Saunders. Beardsley. Waddle's gone through the middle. To his left, Keegan. Header away by Steve Darman. Keegan appealed for handball against Les Berry, not given. On by Grit. Hales. Forward by Ryan. Waddle. David Mills is square. McDermott. Mills. Good effort by the substitute. Really well worked by Newcastle. Experienced players combining there. McDermott knocked it back. Mills shot just wide. Well, they don't mind the rain now, the fans. And the Newcastle supporters greet the victory. 3 points, keeping them up with the pacemakers. And Kevin Keegan, always the man to seize the occasion by the scruff of the neck, scores 2 goals and turns the game on the day when the First Division was inactive. Keegan gets the reception, Newcastle get the points, but Charlton, who led until the 72nd minute, take an awful lot of credit for what they did earlier in the game.
Yes, indeed. Charlton showed little sign of being affected by last week's drubbing at Brighton and earned my admiration for their dedication and teamwork, which speaks well for their manager, Lenny Lawrence. But Kevin Keegan, the man for the big occasion, got off the floor to win the match for Newcastle, with more than a little help from their fans, and created further torture for Bobby Robson with arguments as to whether he was right to terminate Keegan's international career. Well, thanks to both teams for providing a splendid game. A credit to the second division, which is where we stay for our second game between high-flying Manchester City and bottom of the pile Swansea City. Your commentator is Barry Davies.
This always looked likely to be a difficult season for two of football's big men. Billy McNeill, given the task of changing the fortunes of relegated Manchester City, has begun well. His team has been beaten just once, and they're currently in second place in the table. John Toshak, though, still tries to halt the slide of Swansea City, which threatens to be as spectacular as was their rise to the top. The teams this afternoon reflect the changes in the two clubs in the last 12 months. Only 4 of the Manchester City lineup played in this fixture last October, when City were in 6th place in the First Division. In their lineup, all 4 new signings that McNeill has made: McNabb, Parlane, Tolmie and the substitute Davidson. And it's a lineup too which reflects the advance made by 19-year-old Andy May, a local boy. Swansea have only 3 survivors, and Chris Marustic at 21 is the oldest of a quartet made up by Lake, Richards and Maddie. Emlyn Hughes these days isn't quite 21 still, but the former England and Liverpool captain has a vital role to play while the youngsters are given time to develop. Our outsiders would describe this as a typical Manchester day. It's cold, it's wet, it's windy and it's grey. And we're looking at Jimmy Rimmer, who left Aston Villa for Swansea in the summer. Tolmie's in the inside right position. May is now square. Baker. Ranson. Tolmie, Parlane trying to get there. And I think he rather took the ground and seemed to be acknowledging the fact of Paul Power. Power had the better angle running in. As Parlane was struggling to get up by the far post, and couldn't really direct a header of any consequence. Whether that was intended for Caton or Ranson, only Davies will know. Not this Davies, the other Davies. Here's Ranson. He's done well, and he saw Power making the move. Seemed to take his eye off the ball as he tried to play the pass. McNabb. Tolmie. It's very well taken. Maybe if it had bounced slightly further in front of Rimmer, it would have been more difficult for him. The crowd certainly wanted Tolmie to have a crack. He was on by Marustic. Latchford was only about 3 yards behind him. May. Good first-time ball from Baker. Tolmie. Power. Parlane! Oh! How superbly put in! That really was sharply taken for Parlane's 8th goal of the season. Paul Power with the cross, and it was so well controlled on the half turn, kept down with the inside of the foot, and it really fizzed past Rimmer. So first blood for Manchester City. And in balance with the play. Obviously enjoying the fact that we're here with the cry of "can you see us" and hear us on the box, and they'll be pleased with their skipper Paul Power, who really set up that chance, which was so well taken by Derek Parlane. Shivers. Maddie, it's a good header. Richards. idea that I had two options on it, either the header coming in or, if enough curl, an embarrassment to the goalkeeper. In fact, it produced neither. Well taken by Mehdi. He played the ball off his knee when he did not intend to. Lake. Looking for Latchford, who got away clean as a whistle. And there's a bit of an inquiry going on in the defence. But Latchford is delighted enough, as indeed is Emlyn Hughes. But it was the time taken by Hugh Lake which set up the opportunity. Although Manchester City will want to know how on earth Latchford found so much space deep into their own 6-yard area. So we've had 26 minutes of the match, we've had 2 goals, and it's 1-1. Well, the cameraman doesn't want a close-up. Bob Latchford's 3rd goal of the season. He's came off the transfer list this week, so some sort of celebration. McNabb. Baker in the inside left position. Out on the wing is Parr. Hugh forming on the edge of the 6-yard box. Parlane, good save. Rimmer really did well, and so did McNabb. It was his chest trap of the ball which set up the opportunity, I think intended for himself. But Parlane was there first, and Rimmer made a really good save to keep his side all square. 3 Manchester players in the 6-yard area. Further over is Caton. An instinctive header by Tolmie. Caton from the edge of the area. It was going somewhere on the far post, and it flicked off the curls of Tolmie. And the cross past the far post. Ranson. This side at the bottom of the table, John Toshak must be pleased at the way they've come back in this match. Certainly not playing with a lack of confidence. Free kick against Ranson. Latchford. Caton was moving too soon, really. That was Walsh's shot, and that's a good save. Not only the initial grab, but also the holding of the ball afterwards. But it was well struck by Ian Walsh. Chivers. Latchford comes off him, and a good save again by Williams. Down there very quickly and held on very tightly. The ricochets, for a moment, seem to be falling Swansea's way. Offside. It's better from Caton. Well left by Mehdi. Hughes. There's a player over to the right. And it's Lake again. Throw in. Latchford. Marustic. And we reach half-time at 1-1 with the goals scored by the 2 number 9s. But it's very much an afternoon for keeping out of the rain. So the crowd in the stand at the Claremont Road end all moving to the back, but they'll be hoping that this will be the end where the goals will come in the second half. Bob Latchford, though, will be hoping to add to his tally. And Swansea now attacking the goal to our right. Swansea have had more than their fair share of injuries. Without Duncan Gale today, who's got flu, Jimmy Loveridge, Jeremy Charles and Colin Owen, who are all out injured with knee injuries. Indeed, Colin Owen hasn't kicked the ball for Swansea for 12 months now. Rustic going back. Compared with the side that played at Fulham last week. 3 players this afternoon playing in the reserves instead. Curtis, Robinson and Gary Stanley. McNabb. May. Has gone over to sort it out, and the verdict has gone May's way and not Meddy's. McNabb takes, and here's Baker. Good save, Jimmy Rimmer. Baker moved very smartly to his left to make room to get the header where he wanted it to go. But Jimmy Rimmer, I think, was always confident of turning it over the top. Power. Ransom. May stubbing his foot. Parlane. Tolmie. Goal kick. Referee absolutely right. Ball came off the chest of Tolmie. Too much Irish by Marustic, and having got away with the first, it was rather silly to flap again. Free kick has been taken, at least 10 yards ahead of the incident. Ransom, home crowd raising the atmosphere. May, McNabb. Parlane left the penalty spot. Power further over. Here's Parlane. Oh, he's done well. Still. Nice try. But look where Jimmy Rimmer was. Right on his 6-yard line. But Parlane worked hard then to create an opening. Stevenson. Power. Oh, worth the try. And Duncan Davidson being brought on in place of young Andy May. Davidson, who was with Billy McNeil at Aberdeen, and has since travelled around the world to Tulsa, Toronto and Hong Kong. "11 minutes left. Power. Davidson pulls away to the right. So does Tolmie. That's useful. Hughes in contention here. Davidson. Power! Oh, the skipper started that and tried so hard to end it. And Davidson immediately in the match. McNabb. Davidson.
Motson, who came across. He did well. Baker, rather wild, foot a bit high by Mehdi. Four minutes for Swansea to survive. And really, all bar two in attacking positions. Ranson and Alex Williams bring the two. And Caton is going to hit it. And Rimmer makes another good save. Well struck by Tommy Caton. And Jimmy Rimmer got well across. Caton now looking for the header. Won't get that far. Baker does. Tommy. And Tommy was offside anyway, I think. Emin Hughes, who has policed the whole operation. Free kick against Walsh. Parlane. Oh, hit the post and then went in off the goalkeeper. And it's the substitute who produces the victory. The 90th minute we make it, and how unlucky can Jimmy Rimmer get? He's kept Swansea in the game on a number of occasions. And the ball came back off the post from the shot from Davidson, hit Rimmer and went back over the line. So it's become one of those substitutions which will be remembered. And now suddenly it's the home side who want the final whistle. And a sudden change in the atmosphere. From frustration and depression to delight. And here's Tolmi. Ranson. Well, we're playing the time that the referee has allowed for stoppages. And one of many offside verdicts in the half. The cry from the crowd is now we're going up. What a difference a goal makes. Well, certainly you've got to win your home games if you're to go up. Manchester City left this one late, but they have won it. And the decisive factor was the bargain buy from Hong Kong. Duncan Davidson, who finally got the ball past the unlucky Jimmy Rimmer, who'd had a fine game. And while Manchester City take the points, it is to be hoped that Swansea City will not be too depressed, because although they set out a defensive stall in that second half, there were signs that the slide could be stopped by John Toshak's men. But the final score gives Billy McNeill's men the victory by 2-1, as last year.
Football can be a cruel game. Like Charlton, Swansea were left with nothing to show for their 90 minutes graft. But at least the extra 2 points keeps City on target for promotion, which could be some compensation for last season's misery. Here's Bob to tell you how their rivals fared.
It was a good day for the leading teams in Division 2. The top 5 all won, so there's no change, with Sheffield Wednesday still leading Manchester City by a point. Wednesday maintained their 100% home record with a 3-1 win over Leeds. There was an 8-goal thriller at Craven Cottage, where Fulham were beaten 5-3 by local rivals Chelsea, a match which attracted a gate of nearly 25,000, more than double the previous best there this season. In the crowd was England manager Bobby Robson, with some of his players bound for Hungary tomorrow morning. What a match they saw. Kerry Dixon scored twice for Chelsea to bring his total this season to 14, the best in the country. But you've got to feel sorry for Fulham's Welsh international Gordon Davies, who scored all 3 of his side's goals and still finished a loser. Down on the south coast, there was another good gate. Nearly 18,000 watched Portsmouth end Brighton's unbeaten run of 6 matches. 1-0 the score, Nicky Morgan the scorer. The goal of the day, though, surely belongs to Chesterfield keeper Jim Brown, who scored against Stockport with a 96-yard clearance. Believe it or not, it's the second time he's done it. The first was 2 years ago while playing for Washington Diplomats in the American League. In Division 3, the two leaders, Oxford and Hull, maintained their unbeaten records this season with wins over Brentford and Sheffield United. Steve Biggins got both Oxford goals in a 2-1 win, and Brian Marwood scored twice as Hull won 4-1 in front of a near 17,000 crowd, which produced record receipts of well over £28,000. In Division 4, one match tonight, Torquay 0, Hartlepool 0. On the England front, confirmation of what's been expected all week. The injured Trevor Francis will not be joining England in Budapest for Wednesday's European Championship game against Hungary. His dislocated shoulder will take 2 more weeks to heal. Manager Bobby Robson hopes that a course of antibiotics will clear up Glenn Hoddle's heavy cold, but he's more concerned about Kenny Sansom, who missed training today with a back injury. Disturbing news just in. Callum O'Hanlon, Middlesbrough's Republic of Ireland under-21 international keeper, received a death threat, allegedly from the IRA, before today's 2-1 home defeat by Blackburn. The letter, posted in Kent, threatened that O'Hanlon would be shot if Blackburn did not win. O'Hanlon said, "It was a great shock when I opened the letter. It was signed IRA. I tried to put the threat out of my mind, but I suppose it could have affected me because I played badly." Good reason to check your pool's coupons carefully tonight. With 8 score draws and 8 no-score draws, telephone claims are requested for 24 and 23 points. The dividend forecast, a possible jackpot if you've got 24. The score draws, 12, 20, 21, 24, 28, 46, 52 and 55. The no-score draws, 6, 15, 29, 32, 39, 47, 49 and 53. Now more goal action, and Rangers continue their improved form in the Scottish Premier Division. The latest victims, Hibernian. Your commentator, Archie Muckford.